can't even imagine what that pressure would feel like in that moment and being booed. And I think she handled herself beautifully. I think, looking at the footage and looking at the photos, it can't be easy.
Is it true that the royal family, the women cannot wear or have to wear stockings, correct? And like nude fingernails, paint no colors and things like that?
So it's actually up to each royal. So there's no rule that says they have to do this or they have to wear that. I think the British culture generally does have some, there are some staples in the wardrobes that are more normal here than anywhere else in the world, but the royal family trusts the senior royals to make their own fashion choices. Of course, they do have teams that supply all the things, lay everything out, suggest, but for instance, we used to see the Duchess of Sussex not wear, pantyhose all the time. And that was her personal choice. And that was her. So
speaking of the Duchess of Sussex, what is the science behind the Markle charm?
I think it's a combination of confidence and charisma. I do. I really do. And one thing she does really well, she walks into a room and she knows how to evoke positive emotion in other people. It's the smile, it's the eye contact, it's the friendly nature, it's her conversation, talking to everyone. It's a combination of everything. But we actually teach that in our Duchess Effect course because it is how to emulate the style, grace, and poise of a Duchess. And it's so many different things put in one, but she does it beautifully.
I know that they made their appearance at the Platinum Jubilee. And it was, mixed reviews and, they were, booed when they went to the church. But how do you think that she handles herself in those awkward, trying times?
I think her background as an actress probably really helps her is what I see. I think she keeps her cool. I think I can't even imagine what that pressure would feel like in that moment and being booed. And I think she handled herself beautifully. I think, looking at the footage and looking at the photos, it can't be easy. And I think, taking it in and realizing she's technically on a stage in so many ways, and maybe it's using what she learned and how to keep her composure that really kept her looking calm and cool, even if she didn't feel it. But I thought she did fantastic.
Definitely. What would you say is probably the highest pressure royal event to kind of, get together for? Is it a royal wedding? Is it the garden parties? Is it the state dinners? I mean, there's so many big events throughout the year, the Jubilees. When did the royals really have to turn it on?
I think it's the weddings. And then, or a Jubilee like this, where there's so many public, a state banquet, there's not always, cameras, and they're not being watched as they eat. There's actually no cameras allowed as they eat. So the more public forums like the Jubilee and the so many, think about Ascot, think about all of these more public forums where people have access to them, see them, is where all the pressure really lies. But the weddings, of course, now I don't know, we'll have another big one anytime soon. I mean, but the Jubilee was a perfect example of all eyes on you and keeping cool, calm, and collected and just looking beautiful doing it.
Definitely. You mentioned before about when the Queen puts her fork and knife down, everybody else has to be down. Are there any other rules and regulations when you're around the Queen of the things that you should and should not do?
Well, interestingly, there's all this controversy about Americans or previous American presidents or dignitaries or celebrities not bowing to or curtsying to the Queen. But actually, as Americans, we don't need to, interestingly. So a handshake, you would, of course, wait until the Queen extended her hand to you, but she doesn't require or expect a curtsy or a bow. As Americans, we don't do that in our culture. Now, if you're a British celebrity or British politician, then a bow and a curtsy would be more, more probably expected socially as a protocol. But I think, one other funny thing is that people often don't know, but the Queen of England, she doesn't have a passport. I always think this is a fun one. A lot of people don't know. There's so many different little fun quirks and things. And she's her own, she has her own country. This woman she doesn't need a passport. So, I think that the whole protocol about not putting your back to her, not extending a handshake until she extends it to you, not talking to her until she talks to you. There's so many funny little quirks, but at the end of the day, it's just really to show respect to her.
Oh, definitely. And isn't it true if she moves her bag from one hand to the other or something like that, she's ready to leave? That's it. That's the event is done or something like that.
So she has all sorts of little signals. I think once they're known publicly, though, she no longer uses them.
Yes.
Because I feel like that would be, she's so good about being discreet. And I think that would be the last thing she'd want is to hurt someone's feelings. So if that was true, then I don't think she any longer would use that little signal.
That's they're different. The jig is up then, right? And how are you doing? How is life as a mom of two?
Busy, busy. I've got a 5.5-year-old and a 4-month-old, Valentina and Max. They're wonderful. I think, I have twice as many birthday parties. I always say that now it's just twice everything. And when I'm invited to all these new birthday parties, little 4-month-old parties, they have them. I always say, it's my new piece of advice for summer, especially in moving on, is chip in with somebody. Chip in with somebody, get an amazing, awesome gift, and then share with each other. So then you just be like, hey, I'll get the gift for everybody. Just PayPal me. And it's just, that's what I've been this whole summer kind of working on. And it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's fun. But I'm busier than ever. I'm
sure. No, that's such a good idea, is to go in on, you can get a really great gift if you go in on it with somebody too.
Yeah, you just get a better gift, but it's for everything, right? All the summer parties, all these, just chip in, one person buys, and then you can request money from people. You don't have to worry about everybody sending, or buying different things, when really everybody just wants one good gift, really, so right?
True. Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly magazine.